Okay, for the last part of this series, so we already built a basic report, we built an advanced or more advanced report, and now we're gonna do, let's say the last version, the most complicated one, where we're gonna use some DAX, data analysis expressions. So we're gonna write a little bit of code. It's actually more query language-ish, and we're gonna create some more insights using Power BI. So back at our dashboard, this is where we landed the last time. So again, I'm just gonna duplicate this page, and I'm gonna make a new report, and I'm gonna call it new page. I'm gonna call this and I'm gonna call this team performance. Team performance. For this one, we only want to be able to select one single team. So I'm gonna actually we can do this later. First, let's start playing with this one. We're gonna remove because this one we're certainly not gonna use. I'll rename the title team performance. Okay, and we're gonna go back to transform data. Actually, no, we're not going to use transform data. We're going to use DAX. Let's take a look at the data first. So which table are we going to use? We're probably going to use this one, right? Yeah. Yeah. We're going to use this table, but we're not going to use Power Query. So I'm going to close Power Query. Okay, so it's done, and I'm going to go here in report view. In table view, but you can also do this actually in report view. Okay, so we have this table, and we're gonna add some columns. So what we want to do, first let me tell me what we want to do. I want to see how the team or a team performs compared to the other teams in the league. So let's say in blocks, if they're doing lower, then I want to see that. But also if they're doing better in, let's say, assists, I also want to see that. So we're gonna add a new column. So we're gonna create custom columns right now. And first, I want to have the average for each stat of the league. So I want to have the average for 3 points in the whole league. I want to have the average for whatever. So I'm going to name this column, let's say league average. And okay, if you're new to DAX, this might be a little bit complicated. I'll try to make a separate video on how to write DAX. But if you don't know how to write DAX, just try to go along. It might look a little bit complicated, but if you do know how to write DAX, again, this is the most advanced part. So I assume that you know a little bit of DAX. But if you don't know if you don't know any DAX, this might be a little bit daunting. But okay, so let's start. I'm gonna create a variable first. A variable named stat, which is calculate, and then I want to take for each record. I'm just gonna create the intermediate option here. So I'm just actually I don't even need to calculate because this is a calculated column, not a measure. So I'm just going to take stats, yes, return, and stat, just to show you what we're dealing with now, or what we're trying to build. So now it's just going to return this like G and P, FG, whatever. If all goes well, at least. Yeah, it does. Perfect. So now I want to have var let's say L average, league average. So now what I want to do is I want to calculate, and I want to have the average of value, but I want to filter it. I don't want to have the average of all the values. I want to filter it for the whole league. So I want to do filter, and I want everything. So I want to have all. I want to override the filter context. So I want to have the whole table, so that this is the unpivot table. So I want to have this whole table, and I want to make sure that the stats, like this column, equals stats equals this variable. So basically what it does is it says, okay, select the whole, take the whole table, but make sure that we're only looking, in this case, we're only looking at G, we're only looking at MP. So let's see, let's just close parentheses, close them twice, return this one, see what happens. So it's going normally it should be the same result. The G here should be the same value as the G here because it's for the whole league. And let's see if this is correct. Okay, this seems to be correct. So we got 42 here, 42 here, minutes played. So yeah, now we got the average for each stat. This is the league average. It's way too many decimals. So I'm just gonna put this at 2. Okay. So now we get the average for each for the whole league. So now what we want to do is we want to see how the team compares to the average. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna again create a new column, and we're gonna say, and this is I'm gonna name this team performance equals, and then what we want to do is we're gonna take this one is gonna be pretty simple actually. We're gonna take am I gonna split this up or not? Yeah, I'm just gonna split this up for the sake of the like easier, more readable code. So part 1 is just gonna be I want to have the this value minus the average. So I want to have value minus league average. Okay, and then part 2 of the calculation, or return actually. Return, I want to have should I split this up? Split it up. Part 2 equals so I want to have part 1 divided by the league average. So this should return a percentage, and then return part 2. Let's see what happens. And now we should have a percentage for each value. There we go. So the Utah Jazz doesn't seem to be performing that great. The values seem to be pretty, no, it's possible. Okay, put this as a percentage. So now you can see for each stat. So let's say for I don't know, 3-pointers, the Utah Jazz is doing 15, but the league average is 12. So they're doing 21% higher than the league average. This is pretty neat, I would say. So now you can see how you use some DAX to create more advanced insights. So now let's convert this to a chart. So again, we for this one, we only want to have a single team select. So I'm going to remove all of this, the selection, and I'm gonna remove all of it in the slicer. I just want to put team here. There it is. But single select, I only want to be able to select a single team. Okay, and now in the bar chart, I want to do like this. I want to have actually, let's take this one. I want to have, again, I want to have the team, that's fine, but here I want to have team performance. There we go. Oh, but instead of the axis, I don't want to have the teams, I want to have the stats. So now what I have is for each stat. There we go. So now you can see the Atlanta Hawks are their best stat compared to the rest of the league. For them is the 3-point percentage shooting. Their worst stat is, or actually, it's, yeah, this is okay. I'm not gonna do this in this demo because I don't want to drag it out. But this is something that often happens with data, is that a negative value is not necessarily a well, steals is good actually, but turnovers is a high percentage of turnovers is a high value for turnovers is in the business case, in this case the basketball, is a bad number. But a high number of points is obviously a good number. This often happens, if you have let's say economical data on, let's say, debt, having a higher number is not good. But anyway, so here we have it. This is and we could also actually have for each stat we could also build a we could create a second page that, for example, says if you select one stat, that it shows which team is the best in the league, which team is the worst in the league. Yeah, but this is basically it. Now we're using DAX with calculated columns to see to get more advanced insights, and then you can see immediately where your favorite team Mix guy, where the team is performing. So yeah, that's about it. So hope you enjoyed this video. I'm gonna try to do more videos on Power BI in the future. If you have any questions or you want to see different kinds of data analysis or data science, just let me know in the comments, and let me see if I can work with it. So yeah, thanks for watching.